Hey, good morning, Patriots. Man, sleepy bumper music or intro music. Anyway, good morning. We're here again. Deja vu all over again, as I often say. And it's another great day in the USA. Yes, good morning. I see the folks showing up. It was great having Karen back on the show. Karen and I are trying to cook up something, and it's not stew. It's not stew, but we'll figure out stuff as we go. But we're cooking with gas, I hope. So speaking as someone who cooks with gas, that's Chris Cordani. Good morning, Chris.
Yes, I cook a lot with gas, but charcoal's still better.
Yeah. Well, if there's ever a gas shortage again, we can always look to the Democrats because they're full of hot air, a lot of methane coming out of the Democrats. So has anybody ever thought of that? Can we round up the Democrats and use them as a methane provider? Could we power our economy off methane?
That's what they breathe on my planet, so it's all good. Oxygen is
that's right.
there. That's right.
Well, it is for them too, so it's good to see. Anyway, so good morning, Chris. How are you?
Oh, as you know, it hasn't been a dull moment for the last, 5 years, I suppose, right?
Yeah.
It really hasn't.
Yeah, I know. It's true. By the way, I'm wearing my Gulf of America T-shirt today.
Yes.
Just in honor of Donald J. Trump, and because I had to visit down there last week.
Well, I have my George special, the Born to Ride for 45.
No more
shirt.
of that Mexico stuff. It's better now with us. So I think so anyway.
Yeah, but then what happens to that Willie Horton song?
And what song is that?
Don't you remember the Battle of New Orleans? No, it was the Battle of New Orleans by Willie Horton. And the whole rhythm goes like, that's right, the whole rhythm. And they ran through the grass, and they ran through the brambles, and they ran through the bushes where a rabbit couldn't go. Ran so fast that the helms couldn't catch him. Went down the Mississippi to the Gulf of Mexico. And it rhymes. It just doesn't rhyme when you say, went down the Mississippi to the Gulf of America. It just doesn't.
Yeah, that's true. That's right. The White House can complain. So,
right. Johnny Horton was a great singer. And yes, I also like Sink the Bismarck and North to Alaska.
Those were good songs. I remember those as a kid, and because those are pretty it was like 60s, right?
Yes,
60s or 70s.
And by the way, for rock fans, it hasn't been a great week, if you think about it. I mean,
I don't know. With Ozzy passing, I don't know if that's great.
No, not at all. And he said it hasn't been a great week. Then, of course, before that, 80s fans know that Malcolm Jamal Warner died drowning while he drowned while he was on vacation. So
he did.
It's one of those bad celebrity weeks. Yes, he was on vacation. He died. He was pulled off by a current and drowned.
Wow! No, I didn't hear this. Wow.
Yeah. So
what was his song?
No, he was Theo from the Cosby Show.
Oh, that's right. He was roofied by Bill Cosby. I forgot.
Oh no, he's male.
Yeah, I guess that's true. That was a form of immunity, a superpower, if you will. So, okay. Well, anyway, I've got my Gulf of America T-shirt on today because it was, I think the water is bluer since it's American. We got the red and green out. Go away. It's like the end of Ferris Bueller. Go away now. The movie's over.
Ferris Bueller. That was a great movie. People don't realize how great and iconic that movie was sometimes. But I suppose every high school generation, every 4 years, there's one movie that defines the high schoolers of the time. I believe.
Yeah.
So for us in the 80s, we had a couple of them. Better Off Dead was one of them. Obviously,
I've never seen that. And I got to see that. Yeah.
You have to see Better Off Dead. It's purely 80s. It has Curtis Armstrong, John Cusack, the weirdo from Nickelodeon who played Dennis London on Head of the Class. But it was a great movie all around, good ensemble cast, and just a lot of great running gags throughout a movie. It's one of the best movies with that. We also had on the serious side The Breakfast Club. One of those rare movies.
That was good. I remember that. Yeah.
John Hughes did teenage movies that didn't treat teenagers like idiots. Even the comedies didn't treat teenagers like idiots. And that was something that has been lost in teen movies maybe these days.
A lot of things have been lost in teen movies.
Right. One thing that's not going to be lost, though, apparently, are the files that prove what happened with Russiagate, and Tulsi Gabbard is going to bring this forward. Look, I'm gonna tell you this: the the zealotry that the Biden administration, the DOJ had with getting those or forcing the declassified files back from mail that Trump took with him. I'm
Yeah.
I'm hypothesizing that a lot of what Tulsi Gabbard is about to reveal, a lot of that, maybe not all of it, excuse me, yeah, but not all of it. I'm sure there's more that she has, but a lot of that was in those declassified files, and they were afraid that we're going to come out. Now remember, these
Yeah.
are declassified files we're talking about, not classified files. The media lied
Yeah.
to you.
Well, I may have texted with someone about this issue, and I may have briefed someone on this issue when she was still a member of Congress. So just saying.
Yes,
And I want to tell that story real quick. Yeah. So, no, you guys kind of know. Chris has confirmed it tonight. I have to be careful because some of this discussion is going on. But suffice it to say that a bunch of us figured this out. And Tulsi was one of those when she was a Democrat. By the way, let's give credit where credit is due. She was questioning her own party's narrative back as a Democrat. Which, Chris, that takes great courage, right? I mean, you're going against your own tribe essentially. And
Mayor Abrams. Mayor Adams, Mayor Adams, he did that. So, you saw what happened to him.
Yeah. So, yeah, the moment you start going against that tribe, our tribe just kind of like gets annoyed with you. It's like, go hang out with, Seb Gorka and get some recovery. Like, go to a Seb Gorka re-education camp or something. Just go. Anyway, but on our, that's the worst that could happen on our side. But on her side, they go after you. So during the first term, she was doing things and asking questions that made people on her side very uncomfortable. I mean, very uncomfortable. And this is one of the areas she was like getting into. And she was just, and I don't think she'd mind me saying this. When we were meeting in 2018, we were talking about the doubt. And I was talking about we need to do an investigation of the FBI. And man, oh man, did that make me very unpopular with everybody. Because we all knew you need to get in there and look at the file. So I'm saying we should have, and one thing I'll add to this, and I'll let Chris put up some more documentation here, and Tulsi's done some talking herself. John Kelly, I met with John Kelly, the chief of staff of the president, General John Kelly, former Marine Corps senior officer. And I told John, I said, John, you need to let me talk to the president, President Trump. We got to have the Army, the U.S. Army. The U.S. Army has similar authorities to the FBI in some areas. Counterintelligence is one of them. I said, we need to do a peer review, have the Army look at the FBI operations, foreign counter, because we knew, Chris, and Patriots, you all know, we knew what we were going to find. It's like, yeah, we know that they're taking over half their budget in foreign counterintelligence and focusing on trying to get something on Trump. That's what they were doing. We knew that. There's a Judicial Watch video I referenced, I think, yesterday, which outlines this, where we were talking with Tom Fenton and our friend from Ohio, what's his name, Jim Jordan. So anyway, let me get to the crux of the story. Chris, do you want to know what John Kelly said to me when I said we need to brief the president and get him to authorize an investigation of the FBI? Do you know what John told me?
Didn't he tell you he doesn't want you near the president?
He said, I'm never going to let you see the president because all you're going to do is I'm going to get the phrase exactly right. Inflame his instincts.
So you're going to flame him, if you will? Is he?
I'm going to inflame his instincts, according to the chief of staff of the freaking White House.
Did General Kelly call you a flamer?
I could. I should have been called the flamer, but he wouldn't let me flame because he was afraid. Again, let me be clear on this. He said, "You're going to inflame his instincts." Well, maybe President Trump's instincts should have been inflamed, right, Chris? Looking back on it now, it's like, yeah, I guess he should have.
You shouldn't inflame people like that. There we go. That's what Kelly's saying. But yeah, he wanted to keep people that could positively influence Trump away from Donald Trump. He wanted to make sure the neocons were still there. Hey, this is where he got the idea to hire people like Mike. I keep calling him Michael, but John Walrus Face Bolton.
Yeah, John Bolton. So, did you know he's a war salesman? He goes around different countries, tries to sell them wars. Like, hey, here's a great conflict in the Congo. I can sell you this for only $2 billion, and you get 10% off the top. So that's a good job if you can get it.
10% for the big guys. That's what he's trying to say.
10% for the big guy. That's right. You'll get Joe Biden on the side. We'll give you a side of Joe Biden to go with that.
And by the way, Tony, if you'll notice,
yes,
Barack Obama's immediate response to the Tulsi Gabbard's announcement was, "I didn't do nothing." That's right. That's what they always say. I didn't do nothing. He's saying treason accusation outrageous. Well, first off, he did have Trump's
he didn't deny
rivals. First off, he did have a political rival's campaign spied upon and wiretapped, and said it was because he wanted to save democracy. It was national security. He's full of it. This is all manufactured. Obama's team was a part of it because Hillary and Podesta. Look, to be honest with you, the Democrat machine couldn't have done this without the arms and intelligence of the Obama administration.
Exactly. Oh, of course. Well, let's break that down just a little bit. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole because we could do a whole show on that.
I love rabbit holes.
Well, apparently, the rabbits not so much, but anyway.
Sometimes they make the wrong turn at Albuquerque.
That's right. So in this case, the whole issue of Obama's response to me is the ultimate non-denial denial. What they said is, "Oh, it's outrageous." Well, yeah, that's true, and it's misinformation. It's like, okay, that doesn't say it's a lie. Misinformation, because in Washington speak, if you get one little thing wrong, it's misinformation. Is the bigger thing true? Oh, it's outrageous. It's like it's all a word game, and that's what they're in the middle of now, because there's going to be so much evidence coming out that the big guy and Joe Biden, the big guy, and Barack Obama, both of them were in on this, completely in, and I think it was directed. And I said on an interview the other day, Comey, Brennan, Clapper, these aren't men of courage. These are step-and fetches with a little bit of motivation to be politically correct to whoever they're working for. And I know people may not like that term, but that's what they are. They aren't courageous men. They would never have done this on their own. Never just like, hey, we're just going to do this and see what happens. They had to be approved to do it. I'm just telling you that. So
we make fun of the Democrats for being poor strategists. We make fun of the Democrats for being woke morons. But in this instance, they weren't, because think about what happened when Trump wasn't president over the past 4 years. They tried to throw as much lawfare as they could. They worked hard to finally they trumped up charges to make it look like he was a 34-time convicted felon. We're talking misdemeanors that he was arguably not guilty of anyway. Pull that backwards. The idea was not to actually, if they couldn't throw Trump in jail, the idea was to make sure you illegitimize any findings from his intelligence agencies as retaliation, or retaliation from and you'll see it on social media from your lefty friends, quote, 34-time convicted felon. And that's what the idea is. They're trying to use that to minimize, if you will, to discredit what the Trump administration is putting out. The fact is, we know they were doing it. They said, well, get rid of Trump. We have to stop him at all costs because he's a danger to our democracy. They always say that.
Well, and they're trying to minimize the effects of the release of documents, pretty much ignore them, except for NBC and PBS, who are basically their headline is, and I got it coming up here. Oh, President Trump's intelligence team work to rewrite history. It's like, no, they're correcting your lies. But NBC, here's some guy who blocked me. I get blocked all the time because of these people. Anyway, NBC, let me bring up the NBC thing and read it here, because it was like, here it is. Hold on, I'm going to get it here in 1 second. This is NBC on X. Yeah. The President Trump's intelligence team are conducting a systematic campaign to rewrite history of the 2016 election, seeking to revise an 8-year-old assessment that Russia waged an information war to boost Trump's candidacy. There it is. There it is. They are sticking with the lie. They have invested so much in the lie, they can't back off it. They're going to try to save it.
They cannot, because they did not research it. Today's journalists do not research, or at least on orders.
They don't know.
They generally don't research. No, they're told to look pretty, be the first to put out a headline, and don't care about what happens afterwards.
Yeah, propaganda. This is propaganda.
The propaganda machine will take care of everything. And now all this comes out. Some of these reporters aren't going to take that at face value because they took everything else at face value. They have to double down, because trust will be lost in all the mainstream media when more of this comes out. They're going to be afraid to report it. You're only going to find this possibly on a few outlets like Newsmax or Fox News until such a time where they have to report this begrudgingly with their teeth gritted. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah. So that's the sad truth. And then PBS, what am I saying? PBS apparently is doing the same thing. I haven't listened to them because I've been busy, but I'll probably get to it today. But they've been essentially saying the same thing, that, this is accepted history, and they're trying to rewrite it. It's like, no, this was something everybody with a brain questioned, and those now who are in the know what happened, and it was all a setup. And so the Patriots are here. You probably see them in the chat there, right, Chris? So I guess the question is should President Trump move forward, because he's threatened to do it? Should President Trump hold everybody accountable, to include Barack Obama? Should Barack Obama be investigated for sedition? What do y'all think? Should he be investigated for sedition? I think he should.
They all should be. The entire administration should be looked at. Anybody who is any of his advisors, obviously, it
was an attempted coup. It was
right. Comey, Brennan. I think Merrick Garland should be looked at as well. Nobody mentions Merrick Garland's name, but the only thing Merrick Garland did when he was the Attorney General was prove to us what kind of bullet we dodged, not having him on.
My God!
When Mitch McConnell did the one right thing in his career, stopped this guy from being
Ketanji Brown Jackson intelligence combined with the good looks of Tony Fauci. Man, oh man, what a combination!
Oh, that's pretty bad.
That's right.
It's pretty awful, but his criminal activities, his investigation of innocent people as domestic terrorists.
Yeah,
he should be held very, very much accountable to all of this. But I do believe that Trump is a little bit more focused on Russiagate at this point. But there was a lot of treasonous activity going on during the Obama administration against the Trump campaign, and of course during the Biden administration. And yes, a lot of that was against Donald Trump's potential campaign. With that, we'll bring in Barry Morganstein.
Good morning, Barry.
Hey guys, good to see you.
Speaking of being close to the seditious city of New York, I mean, man, oh man.
I still smell like marijuana. I just got to my studio.
So he's not joking. You walk around Times Square, you will be, you'll be smelling skunk, and you'll smell like a skunk, right, Barry?
It's not just Times Square. Everywhere, my neighborhood, everywhere in New York City, it's pretty bad. It smells like Woodstock.
Wow. Yeah. Well, if only they had the hot chicks that go with Woodstock, but they don't. Just saying. They all look like
bad music.
They all look like Bella Asbug and Letitia James.
Right.
Letitia James' monument. Yeah,
that's got to be horrible. Hey, let's go to the Patriots. They're answering your question, Tony. Let's go. American March says they all need to be brought to justice now. Denise saying, Tony, yes, he should. Yes, absolutely. From T. Augie. Let's see. Accountability is a must from Sean Lucas. Hell yes, I yelled at from Stacy.
Hell yes.
Let's see. We also have. Here you go. Let's see. Let's see. Here we go. Sergeant T. 1978. Mike Pence was involved and needs to be brought in under subpoena.
Oh, yeah.
There's one problem with that. They question him. They make him testify in front of Congress. He will bore everybody to death, and people will forget why he was there.
That's right. He and Keir Starmer are the two most boring men in politics. I mean, it's like.
Yeah, could you imagine Keir Starmer or anybody being more boring than Gordon Brown?
They could walk into a strip club and put everybody to sleep. It's like, oh my God.
That's right. Let's put it this way: the Labour Party in the UK is akin right now to the Monty Python sketch, "The Upper Class Twit of the Year."
Oh my God. Yeah, can we run a clip of that or get in trouble? Will we get in trouble if we do that?
We probably shouldn't run that right now, but I can. But since Barry's here, I did want to bring up another upper class twit in America. As you know,
go ahead. Go ahead.
We talked about this. We only touched on it. And I have a lot of angles to discuss about this because I'm a media guy myself. This is my wheelhouse. And as we all know, Stephen Colbert, and as you all know, I don't call him Colbert because Colbert is way too dignified for him.
Colbert is way too dignified for him. He's big mad.
He's big. Look, I would be pissed off if I was fired. I'm going to give that to him. I don't know why the network gave him a year to
I know why. You want the answer? Right. It's his contract. It ends then. It's like,
okay, that's fair. Okay.
They're under no, see, this is already controversial because they're saying, oh, he should have his contract renewed. It's like, no, it didn't work like that. Then this is the safest way. Look, I was talking to someone who's kind of in the know on this, and it's like, the safest way to end someone is to let the contract in because you're not kicking in some sort of an early exit clause. You don't get into the legality of being fired. Like, do I have to pay him out or not? A certain very close friend of mine went through this, by the way, who got fired from a three-letter agency, corporation. So just saying, you probably know who I'm talking about for those who follow me. The easiest way to end someone is just, your contract's gone. Bye. That's what they're doing here.
But they gave him a year's notice. So a year to badmouth the company, a year to pull every stunt under the book or in the
He won't make it a year.
And a year to become he might break the contract somehow in the year.
He won't make it.
However, what I'm saying is when you fire somebody in radio or anybody else, one has to remember if you let them back on the air, they can use that airtime to badmouth the company, even though because they know they're getting fired. What do they got to lose?
That's why they did it. If he says a few more things out of line, it's like, dude, you just kicked into your morals clause in your contract, and we can get rid of you. So I think debating him a little bit. It's like, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, he's taking the bait if this is happening. Want to hear one of his monologue after finding out?
Yes, let's hear a little bit of this.
Okay, and we're going to pick some of this apart too.
Over the weekend, it sunk in that they're killing off our show, but
murdering.
They made one mistake. They left me alive.
Well, yeah, because Operation Let Stephen Colbert speak and be annoying might actually work out, like you said.
That's right. Didn't they leave some guy in the gulag for like years, let him die slowly? I think that's what's going on here. It's like, you're not off the hook, Steve. You're just about to go into the torture phase of your.
By the way, he is actually, now keep in mind, the ratings have gone down for all those late night comedy.
Way down.
Right now, he's actually making the Gutfeld face. Did you notice that?
Well, look at those bags under his eyes. You could hide it's like two St. Bernards under there.
Well, Gutfeld lowers an eyebrow and raises an eyebrow on a regular basis. What Stephen Colbert just did was a Gutfeld move. Because Gutfeld's beating him in the ratings, by the way.
Well, Gutfeld's got better eyes. Just saying. So
let's move forward. You guys trying to be an interruption.
Look! Stop! He looks like James Comey there. I think they're brothers. He does.
Hey-yo.
Hey-yo.
Without the seashells.
Was he here? And now.
Yeah, you see the cult's chanting Stephen.
Yeah. Well, he'll have
And now-
Kool-Aid for him for the last night of the show. Just saying.
Oh, let's see.
And big
And
bats.
now,
Well, look, it's a
Only
common,
hope.
it's a common form of lefty bonding, as we all know.
for the next 10 months, the gloves are off. I can finally.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. They're off. They're off.
I can finally speak unvarnished truth to power and say what I really think about Donald Trump, starting right now. I don't care for him.
Yeah, I know. He always said F off too later on. I get that. But the problem with this guy, and here's the deal with Colbert and the likes of him. See, he wants to play up the idea that this is political. But the fact is it's economical. This show has been losing $40 to $50 million a year.
Well, let me ask. Yeah, right. So let me ask Barry. Barry, if you were the president of CBS Entertainment, and you were putting out $200 million a year to fund Colbert, he makes $15 million a year. So a chunk of that's money to him. But you've got dozens of writers who write very badly about it because if they wrote that, they're way overpaid.
Right.
So if you're spending $200 million and you're only generating $180 million in income, that's a loss. You're losing $40 million a year, right? Am I right?
Yeah, common sense. Fire the guy. Yeah.
So
Any
if
CEO
I'm not making money off a show, I'm having to take money out of, I don't know, the budget for Blue Bloods, which got canceled, by the way.
right.
Which is a
There's
very
a
good
spinoff
show.
coming. There's a
Few
spinoff
shows.
coming.
One of the few good shows.
Yeah.
Well, there's a spinoff coming.
Yeah,
It takes place in Boston with Danny Wahlberg.
That's not as
Oh, is it really?
Yes.
Anyway,
Hey,
my point
Winston's
being,
on it. So
you got to take money from somewhere else. So do you think Stephen Colbert Stephen Colbert,
no, I like that.
Stephen Colbert is worth $40 million from other shows? Do you think that, Barry?
No, I do not think he's worth that at all. He's not funny. He's a jerk. It's like, so they should have gotten rid of him a long time ago. And I just hope the rest are next. Hope Kimmel,
Wait a
Yeah.
minute. Wait a minute.
Myers, whoever,
Is this
Stewart.
Bohr? Is this Bohr you're referring to? The Bohr because he's boring, or the Bohr in that famous South African song?
He's a bore.
about
Stephen
There you go.
Colbert.
Somebody got that.
I think Stephen
Colbert.
Colbert, like in the bore, like he's like a hole, like the boring company.
Well, we know who
He
he can
bores
dance.
holes. Yeah.
He can dance a little with the vaccine guy, so we know he's a good dancer.
Oh yeah, that. See,
Yeah.
he's a propagandist. This is where I want to get to after
Yeah.
this. He's there. He was there to keep Trump from being elected as well, using comedy
yeah.
as the guys, and he failed in that mission. But let's go a little more here.
And thank you to them for that. They clarified that the cancellation was purely a financial decision. But how could it purely be a financial decision if The Late Show is #1 in ratings? A lot of folks.
Lie. It's
that's a lie.
not.
A cable station is beating them.
Yeah.
And if you saw the movie, have you seen the movie UHF starring Weird Al Yankovic?
Oh, I love that. Yeah, with the Weird Al.
Remember when the network station
movie.
manager, of Channel 8 got really talked off because an independent station's beating us when Channel 62 topped them in one of the ratings with one program. So all of a sudden he's really mad. You got to think about this. The #1 late night show still can't beat a cable show. He's talking about a major network that's aired on must carry everywhere. Cannot beat a cable show in the ratings. And he's #1 compared to Jimmy Kimmel and Jimmy Fallon, by the way.
Yeah. To the other legacy guys, but so much of what goes on, we talked about this a little bit yesterday, Barry, on air, is people are giving up on the mainstream and coming to places like us.
Right.
I know there are people who watch us every day that we're on, and they listen to our stuff in the background because we educate, we inform, we entertain. And by the way, for the record, I am funnier than Stephen Colbert. Just saying, it's a fact.
I will say that.
I agree with that.
It's a fact.
Amen.
I agree.
It's a provable fact. So there you go.
This leads me to the next question. Why was this guy allowed to continue operating if CBS kept losing so much money? The answer is in all of CBS's programming, or at least we can highlight some of that. CBS I have no doubt in my mind CBS was part of the cabal to try to keep Donald Trump from being elected. This means selective stories from his presidency, selective stories from the lawfare against him, the idea that CBS 60 Minutes edited a Kamala Harris interview just to make her look better so they can interfere with the election. That's what they did.
Well,
right.
Well, the other thing to remember, CBS fired my close friend Catherine Herridge because right before the election, because they knew she was going after Hunter Biden, who flamed out royally over the weekend. Well, we could talk about that sometime. So
let's look no further. Let's look at the debate too. By the way, what was it? The Democratic debate between Vance and Walz. The moderators, if you will, they were going harder. They deliberately went harder on Vance than they did on Harris. This is all a concerted effort. Now CBS finally realized, well, our propagandists have failed. We're spending too much money on some of them. 60 Minutes is a highly rated show. We can give them a pass. This guy's losing us too much money, and he killed the David Letterman show. He killed it. He killed late night TV as it was.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. I don't mind. I can even say, even if he's a lefty, if he brings on a national figure like Barack Obama or Hillary Clinton to yuck it up, I get that because they're nationally known. Why in the heck would, if he's not a propagandist and he's a real talk show host, why in the heck would anybody greenlight the idea that somebody would bring in a regional or one statewide attorney general that nobody knows outside of New York? I mean, Letitia James. Nobody really cares about her outside of New York on a national show like that just to talk. No, it was about propaganda. It was about raising her profile and her her fight against Donald Trump. Adam Schiff. I mean, look, we look and laugh at him, but why does anybody outside of California and a couple of blue states really care about what these people think?
Well, it's because they go to where they can get the attention. Letitia James would sue Donald Trump for jaywalking with intent to mope. Clearly, she would do that. And then Adam Schiff he's like entertainment value for the left. It's like if you ever wanted a big head with a lot of gas. And Barry, I asked this question earlier. Do you think we should round up the Democrats and turn them into a resource because they produce so much methane? Do you think we could power the country off methane for a year or two using Democrats? Because I think that's what they'd be worth. I don't know.
Yeah, that's about all they're good for.
That's it. But anyway, he's like a methane generator.
Yeah.
Adam.
Wild human being.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, anyway. The show's just left-wing propaganda. That's all it is. It's like not interested in making people laugh or entertaining. That's just a
well, no, and there's a clip going around of Johnny Carson. I love Johnny Carson.
I love that clip.
And he was doing a 60 Minutes interview, and he was being pressed by, I think, Mike Wallace. Mm-hmm. Why don't you get political? It's like, because it's not my job. My job is to entertain. Mm-hmm. It's not proper for me to take the platform I have and try to make people think a certain way. My job is to make them laugh. And I appreciate the purity of Johnny Carson. And to this day, I'm not quite, I don't quite know his politics. Maybe that's a good thing. Because it's like, it wasn't his job. So I get that.
And if he, not that he would have, but if he ever did get fired, he wouldn't come on national TV and say F the president. It's like, he had a little more class than these clowns.
Right, exactly. Yeah. But this is not political, because you're talking about an ultra liberal organization pretty much firing their second loudest propaganda arm. And it's because it's not working. It didn't work. It didn't keep Trump from being elected, as was the mission. And frankly, the show's boring. It's become Stephen Colbert musing politics. It has not become. It is devolved from a fairly entertaining show to Stephen Colbert pushing his politics.
Right. Well, I remember when he was on The Daily Show. Remember when he was on with Jon Stewart, and he would just do kind of gags.
Right.
The gags, I think, were fairly funny. Gags are funny if you do them the right way. But and by the way, there's a show, Barry, and some of the people who were on it. So do I. There was a show back about 20, 30 years ago that was bitingly funny, and they got into politics, called Saturday Night Live.
Right.
And they were great. They would go after everybody. They would make fun of Al Gore. Oh, I got a lockbox. Yeah. I'm going to put your Social Security in. And
Jimmy
George
Carter.
Bush.
Yeah,
Yeah, they made fun of
Cordani.
everybody. It was equal. Like, yeah, we don't like Al Gore. He's an idiot. We're gonna make fun of him. Yeah, George Bush, he's kind of a knucklehead. So we're gonna make. It was equal like time going after people. And I was watching a clip with Joe Piscopo the other day with Eddie Murray when Eddie Murray came in to do Gumby. I'm Gumby, damn it.
Yeah, that's
And it was politically correct, but funny as hell. I mean, it was just funny.
Well,
Because
back even
the reason I
further,
bring it up because Joe Piscopo was playing David Letterman in this clip. Yeah.
Go back even
And it was
further.
funny.
Dan Aykroyd made fun of Jimmy Carter, a Democrat. I mean, they didn't care.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. No, it was great.
Yeah.
So anyway, some of our friends we know. I saw Rich Little a while back. I don't know if you knew Rich Little was very close friends with Tony LaBianco. So I was talking to Rich.
Absolutely.
Rich was a funny guy, went after both sides. Karnak. We're going to do Karnak eventually, right, Chris?
we are going to do that, but that's
The son of Karnak called Tarmac. We're going to do Tarmac.
pending some cool stuff that may be happening. So we're
I
going to
got my hat already for it. That's right. We're gonna bring back Carmack with Tarmac.
Okay.
That's right.
Well, gentlemen, perhaps
Mystic from the East.
perhaps the strangest thing, though, about the Colbert firing, let's just say letting his contract run out, the cancellation, if you will, of the Late Show altogether, is Keith Olbermann had become the voice of reason.
Oh, God.
Imagine this.
I missed
Even
that.
Olbermann says, sorry, that's not what happened here. If it had, they wouldn't be keeping him on until next May.
Exactly.
Right.
Bingo. Even this knucklehead gets it.
But Olbermann, for all his faults, he was a blatant political hack. But he was on networks that wanted him to be a blatant political hack. Colbert was supposed to push propaganda through the guise of running a fun late night talk show. He's become a political hack. I'm pretty sure Colbert is going to be on MSNBC after this. He's going to be their cleanup hitter after he's gone from CBS. That's what is going to happen.
But did you know, Barry? You don't know Sunny Hostin, do you? Because she's pretty vacuous.
Not personally, but I know of her, unfortunately.
So she was on air on The View, and they should call it The View Down Rosie O'Donnell's Blouse. That should be a better title for it, don't you think?
No.
'Cause that's kind of what it is.
Even the women wouldn't watch that.
Anyway, I digress. Anywho, nothing to see here. No Rosie O'Donnell blouse here today. Anyway, Sunny Hostin. Sunny. I guess I can call her Sunny because she's not very sunny. She's kind of vacuous.
Yeah.
She was saying that because of Stephen Cold Bore, we're going to get in trouble for that, Chris. She basically said it's the end of the Constitution. Woo! We're ending the Constitution because if comedians are being attacked, that means our Constitution is being dismantled. Did you know that, Barry? That's what it means. She's a lawyer, so she must know these things.
Oh, yeah.
You want to play that clip, Chris?
Yes, I have it right here.
They get crazy every day.
Let's hear it.
Yeah, let's hear it.
It could be financial, and I don't know that it's purely political. It could be, but my concern is if it is political, then everyone should be concerned. People on the right should be concerned. People on the left should be concerned, because it's very clear that if it is political, this is the dismantling of our democracy. This is the dismantling of our Constitution, right?
Dismantling of the Constitution.
Clap.
How come the case of Blue Bloods isn't the end of our Constitution?
Exactly.
Again, Blue Bloods has been on for 14 years. There's going to be a sequel, a spinoff. It is going to have Danny Wahlberg on it. And by the way, Ernie Hudson, who was famous for playing Winston on Ghostbusters, will be there too. So let's see how
you're going to call.
Yes.
So you're going to call. Anyway, but speaking, now I want to clear this up here because I just want people to understand how stupid this is. And Barry, I know you have to deal with these folks, so I don't want to get you in trouble because she may want to get her picture taken with you someday. Maybe. So you don't have to comment, but I'm going to comment. If the Constitution was being jeopardized, you would do things like put Mary Poppins of disinformation in charge of the Ministry of Truth, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I miss her.
Expialidocious,
Right.
your speech from what was her name? Anyway, they were trying to regulate. Yeah, Jane Kowski.
Nick and Jankowicz. Nina Jankowicz.
Nick and Jankowicz. Yeah, the Mary Poppins of disinformation.
Yeah.
And you send FBI out to churches to arrest people for having a view different than the government's. That's the end of the Constitution there, Sonny. If they wanted to, if Colbert was taken, put in shackles and taken to a prison, taken off the air, that's the end of the Constitution.
Yeah.
People making an economic decision is not, that is called commerce, capitalism.
Right. Yeah.
Well,
Unbelievable.
Let's get some perspective from some other people
Yeah.
here. Now, again, another host, a co-host on CBS. I believe his name. I don't even know his name. Here is Tony Donkapel. I don't really know him that well. He spoke about the situation too.
I don't so people. That's why people are reacting the way that they are.
No, I understand the emotional.
Yeah,
but I don't have an MBA. But I don't. He's not right that the merger, the $8 billion, is based on reruns of a comedy show. No, people are buying the movies and the sitcoms and the sports. They're not based on reruns of us either. So I think he's wrong about that.
He's saying that it contributed to it.
He's saying it's all encompassing.
Yeah,
the total package of it. That already happened in the past. And he also acknowledged that these late night shows are what he called like a blockbuster kiosk inside a tower record. So the business is broken. And what no one seems to acknowledge.
Exactly.
It's also changed. The business changed, and so did the politics. And it got way more one-sided than anything Johnny Carson was ever doing.
And that's
exactly
right. They alienated all three of them. Fell into a lesser extent. They alienated a lot of the audience who just moved to somewhere else where they can find funny, or just turned off television altogether at night, or started watching.
Hey, Barry, I got a Johnny Carson joke for you. It's a California joke. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So my leaf blower gave out when I was using it yesterday. Did you hear about this?
No.
Yeah. Juan, his lungs gave out.
What?
Oh.
Is that one of the ones where he taps the mic to see if it's on?
Yeah. I swear to God, John, it's a Johnny Carson joke. Hey, did you hear about this? Is another Johnny Carson joke. Did you hear about the Mexican with two penises?
This is really a Johnny Carson joke. Wow.
Yeah. He named one Jose and one Hose B.
Oh, see, I remember that. That was funny. Wow. You can't tell that joke anymore. And believe me, the likes of Colbert.
Well, you can't hear. My point being is that Johnny Carson made some pretty edgy jokes.
All right.
I remember
that was the extent of his politics.
My father, when I was younger, my father had an 8-track tape of the best of Johnny Carson. And one routine I distinctly remember was his whole thing on a diatribe on kids sniffing airplane glue.
Oh, God.
This is the 70s, so I guess kids would find anything to sniff. Hey, when I was younger, I loved magic markers. But anyway, airplane glue. It was a whole thing about it. It was just something that stuck in my head. It was hilarious. But this guy was absolutely funny. And then there's the legendary stories of the interviews. There's a Don Rickles CPO Sharkey moment. There are a lot of great things. You don't have those. You had a lot of great Letterman moments, Leno moments. Even Chevy Chase was better than what you have now. But what memorable moment came out of any of these three hosts? I'll give you one memorable moment out of Kimmel, Fallon, and what's his name, Colbert. The noogie to Trump's head. That was Fallon, and that's all. Nothing really memorable had come out of any of these people.
Right.
Well, Carson made jokes about sniffing glue, but now we have Hunter Biden giving ingredients how to make crack.
Exactly. I'll bet more people watch that.
But my point is, and I know people are all upset in the chats, I don't care, I say what I say, what is it? So what do you say? I say what I say. Anyway, the point I'm making, which you're responding to, is that Carson had a sense of how to be provocative without being political. Right, Barry? That's my point.
Yes.
Right. And without
being provocative. And you
not
can get people to think.
Yeah, and he wasn't vulgar or nasty or he wasn't angry about, these late night comedians, they're not fun. They're angry. They're just pissed off, and they're not comedians. So
here's something for you. Jamie Burns says, I agree that Tony and also Chris are funnier than all the late show hosts. I understand. That's a great compliment, and thank you, Jamie, but that's still a low bar. On the second one, I really appreciate it. And think about it, Tony. Maybe we should do a late night comedy show right here on the internet, and let's see how many.
Well, we're going to be looking at some options for the show going forward. That is, we are acknowledging we're looking at different models for how we're going to do things.
Oh no!
So,
Did we get one of those notices like Colbert got?
no notice. No. This is not a Colbert like, oh, I got a call last night and you're off air. No. We're actually being proactive. It's like we're just kind of left to our own devices. As a matter of fact, we could probably put songs from the Beatles' White Album on for the entire hour and just run them, and nobody would notice. It's like, yeah, it goes, number 9,
Number 9 will go
number
great.
9.
Or better yet, when my friend the Nose comes up, we can actually do what I said we'd do. We would like to go on America's Got Talent to do this, but we're going to come on and play Jingle Bells on our nose. We're going to do it if we get enough. Let's just say get enough members.
Well,
yes.
Yeah. So we're going to go through all that. And by the way, one of the things we do want to do, and let's ask the Patriots, would you like to see more people, cool people like Barry and our rock and roll friends on with us? Because I think that's something we enjoy. We love Barry. Barry and I we're all real friends in real life. We love each other. I think it comes across, but we want to have more of our rock and roll friends on, rock and roll friends who may not always agree with us politically, which would be some interesting. So would you all be for that?
I'm with you.
I wish I could see.
Yeah, I don't know about Black Sabbath. I wasn't into Black Sabbath, so
Yeah.
wasn't it Ozzy Osbourne?
Yeah, that was Ozzy. I'm not a metal fan.
But what we also do is we also do get serious sometimes. We do have to have discussion. Now we will have fun with that, but on one day, very serious. I can't sit there and make jokes about PTSD. I will not do that because people suffer greatly with it. But there was a nice conversation between Tony and Tyler Gray from CBS Field Team. So we think some good people up there too. But the idea is we can bring in.
Barry's got the look.
Right.
Look at that. Someone says Barry's got the look, and he look at that smile. Look at that
You
smile.
should be in front of the camera, not behind.
Who said that? I can't see the chat. Thank you, whoever said that.
It's pure vocateur.
Yes, I see it right here. I see it right here. Here's
is that blue steel, Barry? Is that blue steel?
Blue steel. What?
From Zoolander.
Oh,
I'm working on my new look.
Yeah, I'm a photographer.
Blue steel. And there it is.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I
For
found
anybody who has not seen that movie, you've got to see Zoolander.
Yeah, I haven't seen
What
it.
am I taking crazy pills here?
Oh, well, I got the comment, by the way. It says,
all right.
It's from somebody named Roxette, and it says he's got the look.
That's good.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I wonder what that look is, but I guess that's nice. Thank you.
I guess you don't get the Roxette reference?
No.
The song?
I get the Roxette. I just don't like it.
All right. I guess it's tumbleweeds. It's one of the jokes that I should just let go away. Okay.
But yes, we would love to. We'll try to have more of our celebrity friends, real celebrities. Like cool people, like not. What was that? That person who I can't remember the name now was. Oh yeah, she flamed out as Snow White. What was her name? Ziegler.
Oh, is it Rachel Ziegler?
Rachel.
No, killed the franchise.
Again, there's a difference between going woke and towing the party line and alienating your fandom.
Yeah.
You see, she went woke, and I get it. Oh yeah, she could stop it. Snow White was a powerful woman in this. She'll alienate some of us because we weren't going to watch it anyway. But now you have other people who are on the woke side listening to her go, he was a stalker and blah blah, and then messing up the fairy tale. And it's like, well, wait a minute, we read this to our kids, woke, but we read this to our kids too. You can't ruin that. And then you have kids. Now she ruined her rep. This is what Brie Larson did. Brie Larson was the supposed to be the big new star because the Marvel Universe wanted a superwoman superhero, one who doesn't need men. But the character is not very good to men, and kind of one of those man-hater types. But what got worse is Brie Larson herself wouldn't do interviews with straight white males, wouldn't and just spewed out all this woke garbage. Whereas sometimes you're just too much for even that crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, if they were smart, they would have done a real 21st century update of Snow White, where basically Bill Cosby plays the prince and he roofies Prince Snow White. That would have been right, Chris. That would have been like historically correct.
Right.
Well, actually, the more updated version of Snow White would be Snow White and the 37 Cats.
That's right.
And
That's
then
the Rosie O'Donnell story, right?
right,
Yeah.
Barry, you've never seen Zoolander?
No, believe it or not. I
Oh
know.
my God!
Here's the
You've got to
star.
see it.
I know.
Here's the
You've
star
got
of
to see it.
Zoolander, Justin Trudeau,
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
or at least the model for Zoolander.
Right.
Barry, you and your wife
Gavin
need
needs
to
some-
sit down this weekend. I know you post on Facebook your movies. I want to see Zoolander come up because you're going to see people you know, not like, but no, I swear to God, you are.
I'm gonna
There's
watch
a great scene. There's a great scene. I won't ruin it for you, where the models are driving through Manhattan with a convertible, and they stop to get gas. I'll leave it at that. I won't say anything more. But imagine male models stopping without a clue to get gas in the middle of Manhattan.
That's fine.
And I'm just right,
I'm
Chris.
gonna watch-
I don't want to
Yep.
give it away. I don't
Oh
want to
yeah,
give it
yeah.
away.
There's some great, and there's the one where they show the model of the school. It was it's great stuff.
Yeah.
The other thing is, I don't know if you remember this, and I know I've mentioned this a million times, so Tony's probably heard this ad nauseum. I'm not sure if you have, Barry. There used to be a game back when Trudeau started as prime minister. There's a game online that was it was a little quiz. It went Trudeau or Zoolander, and they'd have like 10 quotes, and you have to guess who said it, Trudeau or Zoolander.
That's
And
great.
mind you, it was difficult.
Yeah,
It was absolutely difficult.
I have
Yeah.
to watch it. I'll
Oh, yeah.
watch it this weekend. Yeah. I'm sure it's
You
the same.
will love it. You will
Growing up,
thank me for this.
growing up in the rock and roll world, I also remember watching Spinal Tap and thinking, "Hey, I know these people." It's like, it's
Yeah.
right.
So you're gonna
It's like, wow,
you're
this
gonna have the
is
same experience with Zoolander.
exactly.
It's
right,
great.
Yeah. I'm gonna
Yeah,
watch
it's great.
it.
And several of our real patriot like friends, John Voight's in it too. John's great.
Is he really?
Oh my, yeah, he's in it. He's great. He's
know
great.
that.
And I won't ruin it for you.
Is it a
But he,
cameo or a cameo?
No. He's
that
one.
big
He's
one?
in the cast.
Oh,
He
now I'm
is
really
in the cast.
watching. Love
Spinal
Yeah.
Tap was good, but I have a better movie recommendation for you.
Uh-oh.
It's like Spinal Tap, but it features the guys, 3 of the guys from the Young Ones. It's called Bad News.
Oh, I never heard of that. That's
Yeah.
real.
It's a glam rock band.
Yeah.
That's it's basically it's a lot like Spinal Tap in a lot of ways, but it's a glam rock band.
right.
And it's their travels. They actually do a kick nose cover of Bohemian Rhapsody during it. They do some original songs. And Adrian Edmondson, the guy who's in the blonde wig, he played Vim Vincent. He started his own band. He's a rocker now, but he loved playing it. And there was a lot of good stuff. The one guy on I believe the far left here is Peter Richardson. He was supposed to be in the Young Ones, but didn't like the idea of playing Mike, so they brought in Christopher Ryan, and Richardson kind of left the troupe for a little bit.
That's
They
still a great
reunited.
series, The Young Ones.
Yes.
I used to watch that hungover in college, just saying.
Yeah.
So,
And Christopher Ryan was the perfect Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and by the way, on a note, I see ML Health 46 is talking to Trixie about Carol Burnett being born in San Antonio. San Antonio, they just permanently put Pee Wee Herman's bike in front of the Alamo, which I think is kind of cool. That's kind of a cool tribute
nice.
to
All right.
to Paul
Here's
Rubens.
another one.
Yeah.
To all your points, there's a guy, a British comedy guy I really like. He's Alexi Sale. He is.
I know who he is. He's very funny.
He's
very
hilarious,
funny.
but he is definitely a Marxist. He joked around about being a Marxist comedian and all this stuff. He had the haircut like a Marxist or whatever, and the short suit, but he was still funny. He was political. He wasn't mean political. He was just funny political. So there are guys that can actually pull this off. If you know what you're getting when you're coming in, you just take it as a joke. That's fine, because he did a lot of other things too. Yeah, but right now, as I say, Colbert and Kimmel are one-note ponies at this point, and that's kind of why late night has died. Even if you're on that side, Scott Jennings talked about this on CNN too. And besides, I always like to do Scott Jennings versus the liberals.
Oh yeah, Scott's
Let's
cool.
do this one. Yeah, let's do another Scott Jennings versus the liberals.
Do you think that they're canceling the show because this is what President Trump wanted to let this merger go through?
No. I mean, it's pretty. Look at the reporting on this. On and off the record, executives all over are saying we had to do it for financial reasons. This is a massive show with a massive staff. It's losing a massive amount of money. This is the nature of the TV business right now. You just are not economically viable if you're supposed to be doing a comedy show that's not funny, that's losing $50 million a year. I mean, only
Exactly.
liberals, extreme liberals, would think that we have to keep subsidizing partisan rants every night that are economically not viable just because. Why? It makes absolutely no financial sense. He works for a for-profit company. Don't you have to turn a profit at some juncture? And he's not doing it. And, you know, there's a lot of people in this general business right now who think that I exist to go after Donald Trump at all costs. But no one stops to think, do I exist to make money or not?
And that's a good question.
Perfectly said.
Well, we already had PBS living off the public dole, who was not. By the way, Barry, let me ask you: do you think PBS and NPR are going to make it on their own without government funding?
That's a good question. I mean, half the country's nuts, so it's possible.
Yeah, but are they nuts enough to give part of their pay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's like
I don't know.
one thing, I live down here. Yeah, I live in rural North Carolina. And just for the record, PBS doesn't come out and interview local officials. I'm a local official. I've never seen PBS or NPR show up. They don't come out here.
Right.
And oh, by the way, I get, we have bad weather. I've never had NPR or PBS tell me what the weather is like.
I have a question for you, Tony.
What are you talking about?
Let me jump in here, Tony. Here's a good question. What local programming does your PBS or NPR affiliated station bring forth? What local programming is there any?
Due South. Well, I don't
mean
watch
local.
PBS.
I mean local.
NPR. No, there's no. They do Due South. They do all the Due South is the day program. They do everything Marxist. I mean everything. No, they do. It's like a show. I'm trying to think of the proper title because I always call it everything Marxist. But it's like the afternoon show. All things considered. All things considered.
National.
Which is
Again, national radio.
It's all national. No, they don't do a damn thing. Not a damn thing. Not a damn thing.
I'm asking this for a good reason. A lot of local stations find it very expensive and difficult to run local programming, or they can't find a local guy who'll work for cheap. Or you can get retired guys to actually to run a radio station locally and make it decent.
Yeah.
But a lot of these NPR stations, these small local ones, don't provide local programming. They use the excuse that that nonprofits are local or are beneficial as far as for socially beneficial. That's their requirement with the FCC. They have news programming and everything, but all they have to do is run the feeds. They may have a guy sit behind the board, automation, maybe put some local underwriting on there because they have to make a little bit of money, and perhaps do one or two local shows, maybe a morning show, or just nothing at all. Maybe maybe a couple of local news reports, and that's it.
Yeah.
Very little local news is provided. So Catherine Morrow lied through her teeth by saying local stations will suffer. Actually, local stations, if they wise up and maybe pay a little bit for somebody to cover their town board meetings, might actually do a little better.
So let me say this for the record.
Right, you can pay a college student to spring.
Yeah, and so Barry, this is something that I take personally since I'm a county commissioner here. We had talked amongst ourselves, the county commissioners, how much information should we work to provide the public? And we want to be transparent, but we don't want to look for trouble. Like the moment you start talking about stuff, people start asking questions. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's a point of diminishing returns. So it's like we want to educate people, but we don't want to like put something out there, brag about something, and people get upset. It's like, well, I can't believe you did that. You know how it is. People interpret things differently. So Barry, don't you think it would be useful to have a local, politically neutral radio station come ask people what they're doing so that you can kind of get a pulse of the community? Wouldn't that be nice?
Common sense.
But we don't have that. PBS doesn't do that. NPR doesn't do that, right? I mean, I don't get it.
No, but it's common sense, and that's what we should have. Absolutely.
No, the thing is, Air America failed. Air America was the model for left wing talk radio.
Right. Oh yeah. Al Franken was on there.
Well, you do realize that they were overpaying some of their people too. They were overpaying their talent. It was not at that time worth it. They weren't economically viable. So the left decided, well, maybe
Stephanie, what's her name was on there? Stephanie.
They had. I remember the left. Stephanie Miller, Rachel Maddow,
Miller,
Randy Rhodes, Al Franken. Lionel was on for a little while, by the way, who's now on WABC.
Randy Rhodes.
Yep, I know all. I listen because I study this. I have to follow what these people do.
And I listened to Randy Rhodes too, and it was all grievance stuff.
She was pretty.
It was all grievance all the time.
She was the one who
Randy Rhodes, especially. Oh my God.
She was the one who used the gun shooting sounds to encourage the assassination of George W. Bush on air.
Wow.
Yes, but this is the thing. Air America, when it was found that this couldn't work, the left wing, the lefty radio types flocked to NPR. My guess is or they figure that they can use NPR, the nonprofit model, where you get government subsidies, push the stuff to the agenda. And that's where it goes. And the taxpayer shouldn't fund that. It should go back to being an air America, see what it can do. If it fails, it fails. If it flies, it flies.
Yeah. Yes, it's and yeah, I don't. They can't make it economically. That's why they have to have subsidized, stuff.
Yeah, I'm in contact with one of the greatest program directors who ever lived. I know we're going into overtime. I don't know. I know some of the Patriots out there come from my area, and I used to listen to WABC religiously back in the 80s, back in the 90s especially. John Minnelli put together the greatest lineup, the greatest talk radio lineup I remember. It was Curtis Sliwa and his wife, and then Curtis and Kubi in the morning. So basically Curtis and Kubi. And you had an hour, maybe Mike Gallagher or somebody like that. Ed Koch, who was, remember, Curtis and Kubi was a conservative and a liberal, friendly, having fun, bantering with each other about the issues. Ed Koch, who was the man who was straight down the middle, left and right. He's almost very left and very right in a lot of ways, but he was fun to listen to. Yeah. You had Jay Diamond, who was a conservative at the time. He turned ultra liberal, but he was a conservative. Bob Grant was their cleanup hitter. Rush Limbaugh was on 12 to 3, and 10 to 2 was this woman named Lynn Samuels. Lynn Samuels was an ultra liberal. You remember her? Why is Bob Grant always complaining about all of this? And he's being mean. And we shouldn't have Adolf Giuliani as mayor. She had that voice where she was annoying. Yeah. But how many times on a conservative network had I heard people call up Lynn and say, Lynn, I don't agree with a word you're saying. I can't stand it, but I love listening to you. And she would talk about New York City. She'd talk about the Ramones, and she'd talk politics. She'd kill our side, but we loved it. And you know what? That's what the left needs. We don't have that. We have vicious creatures. We don't have people who understand they have to put.
Well, another radio guy that I personally love, and I got my training from. Whatever you all see here is because of him. Because Chris brought up one of his mentors and friends. We're coming up on his death anniversary on the 27th of this month. Jerry Doyle. Radio talk show host and star of Babylon 5. So radio, he was duking it out with these people, by the way, Chris, back in the day. He was on, what was that network with Michael Savage and company?
I know which one, because that is Talk Radio Network, TRN.
Talk Radio Network, yeah.
Tammy Bruce was on that too.
They screwed Jerry over big time, just saying. I don't want to get into that. But anyway,
I could talk
the guy that ran it. Anyway, my point being is that Jerry was duking it out with these people on normal radio, and Air America had all these benefits, and he still won. His show was rated number 3 in the nation. So God bless Jerry. I miss him. We miss him. And he speaking of entertaining, he went at both sides, which I always appreciate. If the Republicans were doing something, he'd call them out. So he was good. So anyway, we got to go, right? We're over time. But we'll do a thing on Jerry on the 20. Are we on our 27?
Oh, who knows?
No, we're not. Sunday.
No, that's a Sunday.
We'll do something on Monday.
28th. We'll do them on Monday.
Yeah,
okay?
We'll do a little tribute to Jerry on Monday the 28th. So
sounds good.
For those who didn't, so that's your task, Barry. Go watch Zoolander and the 5 seasons of Babylon. Go watch the 5 seasons of Babylon 5 over the weekend. You'll be up all night for like 2 days watching.
And Bad News. I think you can find clips of that on YouTube. You can't find it anywhere else.
Man, Barry's going to be like in his robe with popcorn for 3 days this coming weekend with all these tasks.
I hope it rains.
And of course, let's see. I'm trying to pull this one up. To do you one better, because I have Tony here. I'm sure you've seen this, and if you haven't, Tony, you should be watching this. This is the probably greatest spy parody movie ever, series of movies ever. Johnny English. There are 3 movies.
You know, I've never seen it.
I've
never seen it, and I should watch it.
Yeah. Oh, you will love it. It's Mary. We'll be talking about it forever if you watch it.
As good as Get Smart.
It's
Get Smart was
Get
great.
Smart was royalty. Okay.
Get Smart, by the way. You know, Mel Brooks was one of the writers on that. That's one of the reasons it was so darn funny. Yeah.
And Buck Henry.
Buck Henry. And by the way, you know, they've got Spaceballs 2 coming. They're doing the film Spaceballs 2. Yeah. So, and I guess there's going to be a big old cameo by Michelle Obama. Speaking of balls.
Ooh.
That's a throwback. Yeah, that's how we ended the show yesterday, talking about her. So anyway, Lita Ford is a friend of Cherie Curry. They're very
Yes.
close. They were very close.
No, they were
Yeah.
in a band. They were in the Runaways
See?
together.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, get smart.
Oh, that was the
Get
best.
smart. 99. I was listening to Toto last night. 99. Barbara Feldon.
There you
what
go.
we should do one of these days, again, just talk about the old spy shows of the day, the comedies and the serious ones. Gives us
I'm
an
up.
excuse to talk more Prisoner.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
you got to invite me for that one.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
betcha.
We will. All right, we got to go. Barry,
Thanks,
thank
guys.
you as always. You got the look, dude.
I guess so.
You got
But
the
I'm gonna-
look.
Hope that's a good one.
That's good. Well, it's better than being Al Pacino. I mean, Al Pacino, had the look, but he lost it, and now he wanders around Hollywood walking with his 29-year-old
Sometimes he
babe.
dances.
Yeah,
That's still better than being Robert De Niro.
dancing down the street,
Right,
dan-
exactly.
doing the mochaccino dance for
Yeah.
Dunkin' Donuts.
Oh,
Oh man, there's so many cultural references today. People have to get like Google everything we're talking. What do they mean by that? What do they mean?
Especially the young
Al
folks.
Pacino and mochaccino.
time to make the donuts.
All right, we got to go.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Patriots, for being here. Thanks, Barry, Chris. It's always a blast, And by the way, I haven't had to bring up anything about you being washed up on the beach since you completed your 12-step Ed McMahon recovery program, right?
Well, for that it would be 13 for me, but the 13th step is to say, my 13th step is to say, stay tuned tomorrow because you have Trish, you have Sean, and you have George. So check it out
Well, there you
tomorrow,
go.
and of course Frisky Friday.
Frisky Friday, that's right. So, all right, well, we'll see you all Monday. But until
Thanks, guys.
then, have fun.